My wife received this in the mail, addressed to her, but she doesn't remember ordering it. It appears to be a dashboard-mounted cell phone holder with a peel-and-stick base. The strange part is the set of numbers that look like a combination lock, but they don't actually rotate. We can't figure out how to make it support a phone. Does anyone know what it is? This object is part of a scheme known as a brushing scam. The phone holder itself is intentionally cheap and often non-functional. The process works like this. An online seller obtains your address, often from a data breach. They ship a low-cost, lightweight item to your home, which generates a legitimate tracking number. Once the item is marked as delivered, the seller can use your name to post a fake, verified purchase review for a completely different, more expensive product. This artificially boosts their store's ratings and search ranking on e-commerce platforms. I bought this today while thrifting and have no clue on its intended use. It's 24 inches long by 5.25 inches wide, with deep grooves running down its length. The metal clip at the top is incredibly strong. It takes a lot of force just to open it. The wood itself is unfinished and not sealed. Does anyone know what it is? What you found is a fish descaling board. This is a simple but effective tool designed for anglers. The powerful spring-loaded clip is meant to clamp down hard on a fish's tail, holding it securely in place for cleaning. A user would then scrape a knife against the scales, moving from the tail to the head. The deep grooves running along the board's surface serve to channel away water and loose scales, making a slippery and messy job much more manageable. I found this for free at my apartment complex. It's a heavy piece of glass with several indentations around the rim, and my first thought was that it could be some kind of ash holder. Does anyone know what it is? What you found is indeed an ashtray. This is a classic example of mid-century modern design, likely dating to the 1960s or 1970s. During that period, smoking was much more common, and large, decorative ashtrays like this were a staple in homes and offices. They were designed to be both functional and a stylish centerpiece for a coffee table or desk. The deep bowl and multiple rests were intended to accommodate several users at once. As smoking became less prevalent, these substantial ashtrays fell out of common use. There is this weird tannish powder forming on my trash can and the bags inside. It comes back even if I spray it with disinfectant and wipe it off. Does anyone know what it is? What you are seeing is an infestation of garbage mites, also known as mold mites. These are microscopic arachnids that thrive in dark, humid environments with plenty of decaying organic material. The trash can is their ideal habitat. The powder you see is not dust, but a massive living colony composed of millions of individual mites, their shed exoskeletons, and their waste. They reproduce very quickly, and since they can hide in the smallest crevices, simply wiping the surface often fails to remove the entire population and their eggs, which is why they seem to reappear so quickly. I was clearing out my car's center console before getting it detailed, and I found this small glass tube with metal caps. I've never seen it before. It's marked F2AL250V. My research points to something related to a Garmin device from around 2009. Does anyone know what it is? What you found is a common inline fuse from an old aftermarket car accessory. The marking F2AL250V precisely describes its electrical properties. It's a fast-acting, 2-amp, 250-volt fuse. These are critical components in hard wiring kits for devices like a GPS unit, a dash cam, or a radar detector. The fuse is a safety mechanism. It is designed to fail first during a power surge, breaking the circuit and protecting the more expensive electronic device. The previous owner of the car likely removed their accessory but left this small piece of the wiring behind. I was walking my dog when I saw a man scan this small chip on the side of a building with his phone. His phone made a sound as he scanned it, and then he just continued walking. The chip is tucked away on a back corner. Does anyone know what it is? This object is known as a security guard checkpoint tag. It's a modern tool for ensuring that security personnel complete their scheduled patrols. The tag typically uses near-field communication, or NFC, which is the same technology used for contactless payments. Guards carry a reader or a smartphone with a specific app. When they tap the phone to the tag, The device logs the guard's location and the exact time of the scan. This data is sent to a central system, creating a verifiable record that proves the guard visited each checkpoint on their route, ensuring the entire property is being monitored correctly. I found this floating in my bottle of distilled white vinegar. It's a gelatinous, disc-shaped object. I had already used some of the vinegar to wash berries, and I'm concerned if it's safe to use the rest of the bottle. Does anyone know what it is? This object is known as a mother of vinegar, or more technically, a SCOBY. SCOBY is an acronym for symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. It is a completely harmless biofilm, composed mainly of cellulose, that forms naturally during the fermentation process that creates vinegar. Specific bacteria, known as acetobacter, consume alcohol and produce acetic acid, with the SCOBY being a visible byproduct of this living culture. Its presence is actually a sign of a good quality, unpasteurized vinegar. You can simply filter it out, and the vinegar is perfectly safe to use. I was going through some old sewing supplies and found this strange silver tool. At first, I thought it might be a type of pinking shear, but the blades are unlike anything I've seen. Does anyone know what it is? What you found is a specialized tool known as a strip cutter or a slitter. Instead of a single cutting action, this device uses a series of blades spaced evenly apart to slice a piece of fabric into multiple uniform strips with just one pass. Its primary purpose was for making rag rugs. Crafters in the early to mid-20th century used these to efficiently process old clothing and fabric scraps into long, continuous strips. These strips were then woven, braided, or crocheted to create durable and colorful floor coverings. I received these two metal trinkets in a giveaway. The one on the right is about 3 3/8 by 2 1/8 inches, and I'm pretty sure it's a bottle opener. But the object on the left is a puzzle. It's about 2 inches long by 7 to 8 inches wide and has what looks like a blade, but I can't get it to move or hinge open. Does anyone know what it is? What you found is a P-38 can opener, a design with military origins. Developed in 1942, it was issued with K rations to the United States Armed Forces during World War II. The small hinged cutting blade is designed to swing open. The notch on the handle is then hooked onto the rim of a can, and a simple rocking motion allows the blade to puncture the lid repeatedly. The reason your blade won't move is likely because this is an inexpensive promotional replica. Your other item is indeed a credit card-style bottle opener. I was hiking the Schuylkill River Trail and found some unusual things. First, a small statue was tucked into a rock wall, a few feet beneath another crevice holding a plastic Virgin Mary. Then, I found this note. It was wrapped in foil with paper clips on it and attached to a twig with yarn. The note itself appears to detail multiple conspiracy theories. Does anyone know what is going on here? What you've stumbled upon is not an isolated incident, but a well-documented local phenomenon known as the Schuylkill Notes. For years, hikers along this specific trail system have been finding these meticulously crafted packages. The notes often contain cryptic, rambling, or philosophical texts and are frequently paired with small objects like the statues you saw. There is an online community dedicated to documenting these discoveries on the subreddit r/Schuylkill Notes, where people share photos and discuss the locations and contents of their finds. While the identity of the person or people leaving them is not public, it is considered an ongoing, anonymous art project by the community. There's a powder growing outside my door where water is leaking from a pipe from an apartment above. Over the last few days, it has formed these small, mountain-like shapes of soft powder. Does anyone know what it is? This is a common mineral deposit known as efflorescence. Building materials like concrete, brick, and stone naturally contain water-soluble salts. When water from the leaking pipe soaks into the concrete, it dissolves these internal salts. As the water migrates to the surface and evaporates, it leaves the salt crystals behind, creating the powdery growth you see. While the substance itself is harmless, it's a clear sign of a moisture intrusion problem that needs to be fixed. A couple of summers ago, my coworkers and I found this thing partially buried in the middle of nowhere in the Rocky Mountains. We were genuinely concerned it was a human head, So we dug a little bit and found that the hair was attached to a base. I have no idea what this could be. Does anyone know what it is? What you found is a fiberglass trail marker that has been through a wildfire. These posts are typically made of woven glass fibers set within a plastic or epoxy resin. During the intense heat of a fire, the resin binder completely burns away. This process releases the individual, fine glass fibers, which then become frayed and separated, creating an object that looks unsettlingly like a scalp with long white hair. Trail maintenance crews often discover and replace these markers after a fire season. I have this metal, pen-like object. It has an extremely strong magnet on the end where an eraser would normally be, and a very sharp, pinpoint metal tip on the other. It doesn't seem to write with ink. Does anyone know what it is? What you found is a tungsten carbide point scriber, often called an etching pen. The tip is made from one of the hardest synthetic materials available, allowing it to easily scratch and mark hard surfaces like steel, glass, and ceramic. Machinists, welders, and craftspeople use it to scribe precise lines for cutting or fabrication. The powerful magnet on the end is a practical feature used to pick up small metal shavings from a workspace or to retrieve dropped screws and other ferrous metal parts from tight spots. I found this at my local antique store. It's made of a dark, non-transparent material that looks like obsidian, and it features this unusual symbol. It looks like it might have been a gift store item. Does anyone know what it is? This object is known as a promotional paperweight or desk ornament from the company Autonetics. Autonetics was an electronics division of North American Aviation, a major aerospace contractor active from 1955 until it was eventually absorbed by Boeing. During the Cold War, they were responsible for creating some of the most advanced technology of the era, including the inertial guidance and control systems for the Boeing-built Minuteman intercontinental ballistic missile. This item was likely given to employees or military officials to commemorate their work on these critical defense projects. I found this stretchy black item on the floor of a car. It's made from a soft, non-woven material and seems to be some kind of band. It is very lightweight and feels disposable. Does anyone know what it is? This object is known as a disposable headband. It's commonly used in spas, beauty salons, and during at-home skincare routines. The primary function is to hold a person's hair back, keeping it clean and away from the face during treatments like facials, waxing, or makeup application. They are typically made from a soft, non-woven polypropylene fabric, which makes them inexpensive and suitable for single use, ensuring a high standard of hygiene for each client. A friend sent me this note, and I genuinely cannot decipher it. It looks like a unique form of cursive, with flowing lines and curves, but none of the symbols correspond to standard letters. Does anyone know what it is? What you have is a letter written in Gregg shorthand. This system of writing was invented by John Robert Gregg and first published in 1888. It is a form of phonography, which means the symbols represent the sounds of speech rather than individual letters. This allowed court reporters, secretaries, and journalists to write at speeds matching natural conversation. The note is a personal update, which reads in part, "Audra, things are going well here. John is so grown up. He's got a great job and a great girlfriend. I agreed to let my husband get a Harley last May. Since then, he's obsessed with a motorcycle club." I found these odd visors in a house I was clearing out. They appear to have microphones, headphones, and an antenna. The fine print on the inside says Micro Games of America, but I can't find anything online. Does anyone know what it is? What you found is a walkie-talkie toy set from the 1990s, specifically the Talkin' Tech Visor set, released in 1996. These were fully functional walkie-talkies designed by Micro Games of America to capitalize on the virtual reality craze of the mid-1990s. The headset design with its boom microphone and single earpiece was marketed as a futuristic, hands-free communication system for kids. They operated on the 49 MHz frequency, a band commonly used for toys like remote control cars and baby monitors at the time. I found this at a thrift store in the exercise section. It's a blue, inflatable rubber disc, about 13 inches across with a textured surface on one side. I assume it's for some kind of workout, but there were no instructions. Does anyone know what it is? What you found is a balance disc, also known as a stability cushion or wobble disc. It's a tool used for fitness training and physical therapy. The disc is intentionally unstable because it is filled with air. When a person stands or sits on it, their body must constantly make small, muscular adjustments to maintain balance. This process engages and strengthens the core muscles in the abdomen and lower back. It also improves proprioception, which is the body's ability to sense its own position in space, helping to increase overall stability. This device was spotted on the underside of a large truck connected to the driveline. At first glance, it might look like part of the differential, but its construction is quite different, with large coils mounted on a crossmember. Does anyone know what it is? This object is known as an electric driveline retarder. It's an auxiliary braking system used on heavy vehicles like semi-trucks and buses to help slow them down without using the primary friction brakes. The mechanism relies on electromagnetism. When the driver activates the retarder, an electric current flows into the stationary coils, creating a powerful magnetic field. As the rotors attached to the spinning drive shaft pass through this field, it induces eddy currents within them. These currents generate their own magnetic field that opposes the rotation, creating a strong braking force that slows the vehicle. This allows a driver to maintain control on long downhill slopes without overheating the main brakes. I found this small, white ceramic container. It's surprisingly heavy for its size and has a metal lid with no holes in it. The lid doesn't seem to twist off easily, so I'm hesitant to force it open. There's some writing on the top and bottom, but it's hard to make out. Does anyone know what it is? This object is known as a Woodbury's facial cream jar, dating from the 1930s or 1940s. The white container is made of milk glass, a popular material for cosmetic and pharmaceutical packaging at the time because it protected contents from light. The lid is the original metal screw top. After more than 80 years, it's very common for the cream inside to dry out, essentially gluing the lid shut, or for corrosion to seize the threads, which explains why it is so difficult to open. I found this in the park early this morning when I was walking my dog. It's pretty small and has a light on top. I forgot about it in my jacket for about a week and it's still glowing and I have no idea how you'd turn it off. Does anyone know what it is? It's a single-use LED balloon light. These are small, self-contained lights designed to be placed inside party balloons to make them glow from within. To activate one, a user pulls a small plastic tab which allows an internal battery to make contact and complete the circuit. They are not designed to be turned off. The small coin cell battery inside provides enough power to keep the low-energy LED lit for several days, sometimes over a week, before it finally fades out. I found this on the side of the road while at work. It's a handheld metal tool, and one side is covered with a black, rubber-like material. It looks like it might be used for scraping or cleaning something specific. Does anyone know what it is? What you found is a specialized tool used by cable technicians for prepping mainline coaxial cables. When joining or terminating a thick coax cable, a technician first uses cutters to strip off the outer plastic jacket. This exposes a layer of white dielectric foam surrounding the solid center conductor. Your tool is specifically designed to scrape this residual foam off the conductor, ensuring a perfectly clean surface for the new connector. That black material on the side is actually heat shrink tubing. After the new connection is made, the technician slides this tube over the splice and heats it, creating a durable, water-resistant seal. I noticed these formations growing from the ceiling of my parking structure. I know they aren't icicles, but they look like stalactites growing directly out of the cement. Does anyone know what it is? What you're seeing are in fact a type of stalactite, but they are known by a more specific name, calthemites. Unlike cave stalactites which form from limestone, these are created by a chemical process involving concrete. Rainwater, which is slightly acidic, seeps through the concrete slab. As it travels, it dissolves calcium oxide, a primary component of cement. This calcium-rich solution, called leachate, drips from the ceiling. When the water evaporates, it leaves behind a deposit of calcium carbonate. Over many years, these deposits build up drop by drop, forming the icicle-like structures. I see these small metal studs all over the place, on sidewalks and buildings in different cities. I assume they are holding down some kind of cables, but I'm not sure what for or who put them there. Does anyone know what it is? This object is known as a survey benchmark, or a survey marker. It's a permanent point with a precisely known coordinate and elevation. Think of it as a saved location for professional surveyors. Every engineering plan, from laying utility pipes to defining property boundaries, relies on a shared coordinate system and a vertical reference point, called a datum, which is often based on the mean sea level. Instead of having to measure from a distant origin point every single time, surveyors use these benchmarks as a much closer, known starting point. This makes their work significantly faster and more accurate, ensuring everything is built exactly where it's supposed to be. I keep seeing this in an online ad. It shows 4 separate metallic pendants, but the video implies they somehow connect with each other. I've been staring at this for a while, and I have no idea what I'm supposedly looking at. Does anyone know what it is? This object is known as a magnetic 4-person friendship bracelet or necklace set. The design is intended for a group of 4 friends, with each person wearing one of the 4 leaf pendants. Each individual piece has magnets embedded along its straight edges. When the 4 wearers bring the pendants together, the magnets cause them to snap into place, forming a complete 4-leaf clover. It's a modern interpretation of a friendship token, symbolizing that the group is whole or lucky when they are all together. What is this strange phenomenon? The temperature is above freezing, but this stream of water looks completely solid, almost like it's frozen in place. It's so smooth it looks like a glass rod. Does anyone know what is happening? This phenomenon is known as laminar flow. It's a principle in fluid dynamics where a fluid, in this case water, flows in smooth parallel layers with little to no mixing or turbulence between them. Each particle of water follows a consistent path, never crossing into the others. This absence of chaotic swirls makes the stream optically transparent and appear perfectly stationary to the human eye. You are not seeing frozen water, but rather perfectly ordered flowing water. This object came from my parents' house, and I think it might be homemade. I have a vague memory that it was some kind of game or puzzle, similar to those peg jumping games you see in a triangle shape. I've taken one of the tokens out so you can see the hole underneath. Does anyone know what it is? What you found is a version of the classic single-player puzzle known as Peg Solitaire. The objective is to systematically clear the board until only one peg remains, ideally in the center hole. A move is made by jumping one peg over an adjacent peg into an empty space, either horizontally or vertically. The peg that was jumped over is then removed. The game is believed to have been invented in France during the late 17th century, with the first known reference appearing in an engraving from 1697. While many commercial versions exist, homemade boards like this one are very common. An ex-coworker of mine had this array of electronics hidden in an office storage closet. I suspect it's a rig for cryptocurrency mining and that he was stealing electricity from the company to power it. Does anyone know what it is? This is a rare case where the mystery is the post itself. The user who submitted this story never actually attached the photo of the supposed mining rig. Without any visual information, the community was unable to confirm if the device was indeed for mining, or if it was a server rack, a video rendering station, or something else entirely. While a crypto rig often uses an array of graphics cards on an open frame, this particular object remains unidentified because no one ever saw it. I found these small sticks in a games room, but there was no other sports equipment with them. I've placed a billiard ball next to them for sizing, and as you can see, they are much shorter than standard hockey sticks. Does anyone know what it is? What you found is a set of scooter hockey sticks. This sport became a staple in school physical education classes, especially in the United States during the 1980s. Companies like Kosom helped popularize safe, indoor floor hockey equipment, and scooter hockey was a common variation. The sticks are intentionally short with plastic blades, specifically designed to be used by players while seated on small wheeled gym scooters. The game provided an accessible and safe way to teach the fundamentals of hockey on a gymnasium floor. I was given some items that belonged to my grandfather, who passed away in the 1940s. He owned a corner grocery and was an avid butterfly collector. Among his things was this object, which looks like a tiny corkscrew. I thought it might have been a tool for his butterfly hobby. Does anyone know what it is? This object is known as a perfume bottle corkscrew. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, long before atomizers or screw caps became standard, valuable perfumes were sealed in glass vials with small, tightly fitted corks to prevent evaporation. A standard wine corkscrew was too large and would have destroyed the delicate vial. This miniature tool was specifically designed to gently extract those tiny corks without breaking them, ensuring not a drop of the expensive contents was spilled. It was a common accessory for a vanity table or an apothecary's set. I found this clay disc attached to the bottom of my OXO container lid. It's dense, almost like terracotta, and it takes up space inside. I was thinking of throwing it away. Does anyone know what it is? This object is known as an OXO Pop brown sugar keeper. It's designed to prevent brown sugar from drying out and hardening. The disc is made of porous terracotta. To activate it, you soak the disc in water for about 15 minutes and then pat it dry. Once sealed inside the container, the terracotta slowly releases moisture. This elevated humidity keeps the molasses in the brown sugar from crystallizing, ensuring the sugar remains soft and scoopable. I found this small object while taking out the garbage. It has the characters 20 plus C plus M plus B plus 26 inscribed on it. It looks like some kind of spiritual item, but I'm not familiar with it. Does anyone know what it is? This object is related to a Christian tradition known as chalking the door. The inscription is a formula for a house blessing, typically performed on the Feast of the Epiphany. The numbers 20 and 26 represent the year 2026. The letters C, M, and B have a dual meaning. They are the initials of the traditional names for the three magi, Caspar, Melchior, and Balthazar. They also stand for the Latin phrase Christus mansionem benedicat, which translates to, "May Christ bless this house." The crosses represent the sign of the cross. Families will inscribe this formula with blessed chalk over their doorways to ask for protection and blessings for the coming year. I found this blue rust on my hat. I'm not sure what it is, but it has a slight smell and seems to have transferred from the metal clasp to the fabric band. Does anyone know what it is? This is not rust, but a form of metal corrosion. The clasp on your hat is likely made from a copper alloy, such as brass. The blue substance is the result of that copper oxidizing. Your sweat, which contains salts and acids, acts as an electrolyte and accelerates this chemical reaction. The resulting patina is a layer of copper salts, often called verdigris. It's the same basic chemical process that has given the Statue of Liberty its iconic green color over the decades. I found this while going through some boxes. It's a small machined piece of black aluminum with a textured surface on one side. It feels very solid and well made, but I have no idea what it could attach to. Does anyone know what it is? This object is a one-slot M-lock handstop, an accessory for a modern rifle. The name M-lock stands for Modular Lock, a firearm rail interface system developed by Magpul Industries Corporation and released to the public as a free licensed platform in 2014. This system uses T-shaped nuts that slide into slots on a rifle's handguard and then tighten, securely clamping the accessory in place. The purpose of the handstop itself is to provide a fixed reference point for the shooter's support hand, preventing it from slipping forward towards the hot barrel and improving overall stability and control. What is this metal structure found on the sidewalks of downtown Tampa, Florida? It's a series of heavy angled plates bolted directly into the concrete. It doesn't appear to be decorative or part of a drainage system. Does anyone know what it is? This object is known as a hostile vehicle mitigation barrier, or simply an anti-ram barrier. Its sole purpose is to prevent cars and trucks from driving onto pedestrian walkways. These are not simple posts. They are complex systems engineered to stop a multi-ton vehicle traveling at speed. The barriers are anchored deep into reinforced concrete foundations below the sidewalk. The angled steel construction is designed to absorb and redirect the massive kinetic energy of an impact, bringing a vehicle to a complete stop and protecting public spaces from accidental or intentional vehicle intrusions. I found this copper tubing assembly that measures about 3 feet long. My first thought was that it might be part of a musical instrument, like a trombone, or perhaps a component from a moonshine still. Does anyone know what it is? What you found is a critical component of a distillation still, specifically a combined reflux column and condenser. It's used for purifying alcohol. The larger tube acts as the reflux column, where hot vapor rises from the boiler. The adjacent tube is the condenser. During operation, the two smaller perpendicular pipes circulate cold water through an outer jacket around the condenser. As the hot, purified vapor passes through the condenser, the cold surface causes it to rapidly cool and turn back into a high-proof liquid, which is then collected. I found this in the closet of my hotel room. It has a lid that covers several small holes and ports. What's strange is that every time I walk into the closet wearing my AirPods, I hear a 3-second burst of static. It only happens in this one spot. Does anyone know what it is? What you found is a hotel occupancy sensor. This device is used by the hotel's energy management system to determine if a room is vacant or occupied. When the room is empty, the system can automatically adjust the thermostat or turn off lights to save energy. The static you hear in your AirPods is a key clue to how it works. This is likely a microwave-based sensor, which operates in the 2.4 GHz radio frequency band. This is the same frequency used by Bluetooth devices, so when you walk by, the sensor's signal can briefly interfere with your AirPods connection, causing that burst of static. It doesn't record any audio or video. It simply detects motion to manage the room's power consumption efficiently. I have this old metal device. It's got the classic Winchester logo on the side, but it's clearly not a firearm part. It looks like some kind of flashlight, but the shape is a bit unusual for its era. Does anyone know what it is? What you found is a vintage flashlight, specifically a Winchester-branded version of a popular model originally produced by Eveready. In the mid-20th century, Winchester, the firearms company founded in 1866, licensed its well-known name for use on a variety of outdoor and hardware goods. Eveready, which had been a leader in portable lighting since the 1890s, manufactured many of these designs. This particular Winchester version is exceptionally rare, leading some collectors to believe it was either a very limited production run or potentially a standard Eveready flashlight that had a Winchester sticker applied to it by a retailer or owner to match their other gear. I have this metal tool. One side is clearly a toothpick, but I'm confused about the other end. The tip is made of a semi-squishy material. I tried to pull it off, but it seems to be permanently attached to the metal stem. Does anyone know what it is? This is a dual-purpose dental tool featuring a reusable toothpick and a gum stimulator. The soft, rubber-like tip is designed to be run along your gum line. The purpose is to gently massage the gum tissue. This action helps to clean the area where the teeth and gums meet, and more importantly, it stimulates blood flow, which is essential for maintaining healthy and firm gums. While one side removes food particles, the other is designed for overall gum health. My housemate was evicted, and he left his toolbox behind. Inside, I found these small aluminum cubes. They aren't magnetic and they feel very light, almost hollow. A US quarter is here for scale. Does anyone know what they are? What you found is a set of reusable ice cubes, sometimes called drink chillers. These are designed to cool a beverage without diluting it with melting water. The cubes are hollow and sealed, containing a non-toxic liquid or gel with a low freezing point. You store them in the freezer just like a regular ice cube tray. While the modern whiskey stone trend became popular in the 2000s, the concept for these metal cubes is much older. U.S. patent number 2005-2557 for a refrigerating cube was filed by inventor T.W. Mellon all the way back in 1947, describing a sealed metal cube for this exact purpose. I found this while taking clothing out of the dryer. It's a small plastic and metal piece. I'm assuming it was inside a pocket, but I have no idea what it is. Does anyone know what it is? What you found is the backplate for a magnetic name badge fastener. This is part of a two-piece system used to attach name tags to clothing without using a pin. The front piece, which is missing, attaches to the badge itself. This backplate, which contains strong neodymium magnets, is placed on the inside of a shirt or lapel. The powerful magnetic force clamps the two pieces together through the fabric, holding the name tag securely in place without causing any damage. I was at a train station and noticed this wire attached to the metal handrail. It's connected directly to the steel post and runs down into the concrete platform. It doesn't appear to lead to any lights or power sources. Does anyone know what it is? This is a grounding wire, also known as an earth wire. Its function is critical for public safety. Train stations operate with high-voltage electricity, often from overhead catenary lines or a third rail. If a live power line were to break and make contact with the metal railing, the entire structure would become dangerously electrified. The grounding wire provides a safe, low-resistance path for that electrical current to travel directly into the earth, preventing electrocution. This sudden surge of current to the ground also trips the circuit breakers, immediately shutting off the power to the faulty line. I found these small seeds on my child's bed. They're dark brown, oval-shaped, and slightly shiny. I've placed a penny next to them for scale but have no idea where they came from. Does anyone know what it is? This is a common and harmless seed, flax. Flax seeds are a popular ingredient in multigrain breads, bagels, and other healthy snacks. Because the seeds are small and hard, they don't always get eaten with the bread and can easily fall off onto clothing, backpacks, or furniture. The original poster was likely concerned they might be something illicit, but these do not match the appearance of marijuana seeds, which are typically larger, more rounded, and have distinct mottling or stripes. This is simply a case of a stray seed from a sandwich or snack. I don't understand this pocket on my backpack. It's a wide strap on the back, but it has a large opening at the bottom, so anything you put inside would just fall right through. Does anyone know what it is? This object is known as a luggage pass-through or a trolley sleeve. It's a feature specifically designed for travel. The opening at the bottom allows you to slide the entire backpack over the telescoping handle of a rolling suitcase. This mechanism secures the backpack on top of your luggage, preventing it from twisting or falling off as you navigate an airport or station. It lets you manage two bags as a single unit, freeing up your shoulders. I bought this pair of matching metal objects at an auction. They appear to be made of brass and stand about 8 inches tall. The top is a solid, rounded shape, and there's no obvious place to put a candle. They just look like decorative metal finials or small statues. Does anyone know what it is? What you found is a set of reversible, or upside-down, candlestick holders. This design was popular in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The part that currently looks like a decorative top is actually the base. When you want to use them, you simply flip them over. The finial becomes a wide, stable base, and what was the bottom now reveals a socket designed to hold a standard taper candle. This design served two purposes. It kept dust and debris out of the wax cup when not in use, and it allowed the items to be displayed as clean, sculptural objects on a mantelpiece. We bought a house back in March, and the previous owner left this plugged into an outlet in the living room. We were worried it might be important, so we just left it there. I Googled the brand name, and it seems to be a smart home product, but I'm not sure of its specific function. Does anyone know what it is? This object is known as a GE Z-Wave Plus smart plug. It's an adapter designed to add remote control capabilities to a standard electrical outlet. The outlet on the left is the smart socket, while the one on the right is a normal, non-controllable pass-through. The plug operates on a wireless communication protocol called Z-Wave, which allows it to connect to a central smart home hub. Once paired, any device plugged into the smart socket, like a lamp, could be turned on or off remotely. Since the previous owner would have taken the required hub, this plug is no longer part of a network and can be safely unplugged. I saw this spout coming from a pillar on the back bar of my local pub, and even the staff had no clue what it could be. For context, this bar is one of the oldest in my city, established in 1902. Does anyone know what it is? What you found is an antique barrel tap, also known as a cask spigot. Before modern pressurized draft systems became standard in the mid-20th century, pubs served beer and spirits directly from wooden barrels. This tap would have been driven into the front of a cask stored behind the wall, allowing the bartender to pour a drink using only gravity. Given the pub's age, this is almost certainly an original fixture, left in place as historical decoration after the bar upgraded to a modern system. I know this is a sword, but I'm trying to find out more about its origins. A plaque and a tag on the sword itself both say it was made in Spain. I don't have any other information. Does anyone know what it is? What you found is a modern ornamental replica of a famous historical weapon. It is a copy of the tizona, one of the two swords wielded by the 11th century Castilian nobleman Rodrigo Díaz de Vivar, more famously known as El Cid. He was a celebrated military leader and a national hero of Spain. The original tizona is considered a national treasure and is on display at the Museum of Burgos. These replicas are commonly manufactured in cities like Toledo, which has a long history of steelworking, and are sold as popular tourist souvenirs. I just bought a classic 1973 Datsun 240 Aussie and found this sticker on the driver's side of the windshield. It looks official and has a large number 12 in the center. I'm just curious what it was for. Does anyone know what it is? What you found is a New York State vehicle inspection sticker from 1987. The large number indicates the month the inspection expired, so in this case, the car was certified as road safe until the end of December 1987. New York began mandatory vehicle safety inspections in 1957. The program requires passenger cars to be checked annually for safe operation of brakes, steering, lights, and other essential components. The color and design of the sticker change each year, a security measure to help police quickly identify expired credentials and to make counterfeiting more difficult. I got a coffee today and the barista wrote something on the cup, but their cursive handwriting is a little difficult to read. It looks like it could be Hoppy Mothy or something similar. Does anyone know what it is? This is simply a friendly greeting from your barista that says, "Happy Monday?" The stylized cursive makes the A and P and happy run together. The letters N and D in Monday are also connected in a way that can be misread. The final flourish is a question mark, turning the statement into a friendly, upbeat question to start the week. I found this in my desk at my new job. It seems new and is made out of a polyester-type material. It looks like a glove, but it only covers the pinky and ring finger. It's not broken. The open part is cleanly stitched. Does anyone know what it is? This is a digital artist glove, specifically designed for use with a graphic drawing tablet like a Wacom Cintiq or an iPad. The glove covers the parts of the hand that rest on the screen's surface. This serves two key purposes. First, the smooth fabric reduces friction, allowing the artist's hand to glide effortlessly across the tablet for smoother, more precise lines. Second, it prevents natural oils from the skin from smudging the screen and can also provide palm rejection on touch-sensitive devices, ensuring that only the stylus is registered as an input. In the classic Twilight Zone episode, Long Live Walter Jameson, a painting in the background has sparked curiosity. It depicts a man leaning over a large, complex wooden frame. He is holding a tool that looks like a wide comb, and a small bowl rests on the floor next to him. Does anyone know what it is? This is a depiction of a person weaving on a traditional floor loom. The large wooden structure is the loom itself, a machine designed to hold a set of vertical threads, called the warp, under high tension. The tool in the weaver's hand is a reed, which is a comb-like frame used to push the horizontal threads, called the weft, tightly into place after they are passed through the warp. This process, known as beading, is what creates a dense and even fabric. The bowl on the floor could have held water to keep the fibers pliable, or could have simply stored extra spools of thread for the weaving process. I found this perfectly rectangular object in the sauce packet of my cup noodles. I would hope it's salt and not glass or plastic, but whatever it is, I can't even break it. Does anyone know what it is? This object is known as a soy sauce crystal. Soy sauce is a supersaturated solution, packed with salt, primarily sodium chloride and glutamates, which provide the umami flavor. During manufacturing or storage, if a tiny amount of water evaporates from the sealed packet, the solution can no longer hold all of the dissolved solids. These solids then precipitate out, forming a highly ordered and very hard crystal lattice. It is completely edible and will dissolve once you add hot water to the noodles. We have a coffee subscription for compostable, plant-based pods, and for the second time in a month, we have found this orange substance on the used pods in our compost bin. We've been using these for years and have never seen this before. We already drank the coffee before we noticed it. Does anyone know what it is? This object is known as a mold, and its presence is a sign of a healthy decomposition process. Coffee grounds are rich in nitrogen, providing an excellent food source for various fungi and bacteria. The warm, dark, and moist environment inside a compost bin creates the perfect conditions for these microorganisms to thrive. The orange growth is simply a type of fungus breaking down the organic material of the coffee and the plant-based pod. The reason it may have appeared recently could be due to changes in temperature, moisture levels in the bin, or even a slight variation in the pod's material from the manufacturer. Since the mold grew after the pod was discarded, the brewed coffee was not affected. I've been staring at this shirt for 10 minutes and I just need a fresh set of eyes at this point. I can't decipher the main graphic. My best guesses are stay level or maybe Ivechlor, but neither makes any sense. Does anyone know what it says? This is a classic case of a highly stylized font causing confusion. The shirt says one simple word: wild. The difficulty comes from the artistic design, where the letters are drawn to look like abstract tangled branches. The W and I are merged together on the far left. The L is the tall vertical stroke in the middle, and the D forms the final looping shape on the right. It's a design where once you see the intended word, it becomes impossible to unsee it. A user noticed a persistent orange dot on their phone's screen. They understood it was related to the microphone, but couldn't figure out how to make it disappear. Does anyone know what it is? This orange dot is a privacy indicator, a feature built into modern mobile operating systems. Apple introduced this specific alert with its iOS 14 update in 2020, and a similar feature was added to Android 12. The system is designed to provide a clear, visual notification whenever an application is actively using the device's microphone. If the dot were green, it would indicate camera usage. If the indicator is always on, it means an app is running in the background with permission to listen. The solution is to go into the phone's privacy settings, which will show exactly which application is using the microphone, allowing the user to revoke its permissions. This image was captured on a Ring doorbell camera showing a person walking through a neighborhood. In one hand, they're holding a cell phone, but the object in their other hand is unclear. The homeowner was trying to identify what this individual was carrying. Can anyone figure out what he is holding? It's a reciprocating saw, an electric tool often known by the popular brand name Sawzall. The Milwaukee Electric Tool Company first introduced this type of portable electric hacksaw in 1951. It operates using a motor to drive a blade in a rapid push and pull or reciprocating motion. This design allows it to make rough cuts through a wide variety of materials, including wood, metal, and PVC pipe. Because of its power and portability, it's a common tool in construction and demolition, but is also unfortunately used in thefts to quickly cut through locks, pipes, or vehicle components like catalytic converters. Which of these items surprised you the most? Or maybe you have one of them in your own garage? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed learning something new today, please hit like and subscribe to support the channel. Thanks for watching.